This is your girl Pam Kendrick with encouraging words. The only way to get what God has for you that has to come down to you is up. You can't get what God has for you if you're not looking up. Everything you need comes from God. Healing comes from God. Freedom comes from God. Liberty comes from God. Peace comes from God. Joy comes from God. Grace comes from God. Mercy comes from God. Must I go on? There are some things that God just downright requires of us. There are some things that we can't escape. You know, we have to delight ourselves in the Lord. And as we delight ourselves in the Lord, He said, I will give you the very desires of your heart. I will give you those things that you desire. What is it that you are desiring God to do? What is it that you have given up on that you know God had promised you, but because it looked like it took too long and looked like God hasn't came through for you yet, and so now you almost don't want to believe that God is going to do it. This is how the enemy works. The enemy works like this. The enemy wants you to think that just because it haven't happened in the time and in which you think it should have happened, that it's not going to happen. But everything that God has promised you is going to happen. God wants us to know, wait a minute, I got you. I got you covered. I got that child. I'm in control. I have their future in my hand. As a matter of fact, they're in my hands and they cannot be plucked out. I got them. And I love them. And you think you love them? You think you love your children? God loves your children more than you love your children. You think you love your spouse? God loves your spouse more than you love your spouse. God is love. God is the love of all love. Without God, there is no love. He gave us love. He sent love. So love is in us because of who He is. And He is working that love in us and helping us to be better lovers, better lovers of each other, caring more about one another. I'm talking about God. I'm talking about God. I'm talking about God. I'm talking about the God of your salvation, the God whom you serve, the God whom you say you love. God said, if you love me, you'll obey me. God said, if you love me, you'll obey me. You'll do what I say. God said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. If you love me, you'll walk upright. You'll talk right. You'll do right. The hardest thing about not doing right is that you want to do wrong. Did you hear me? The hardest thing about not doing right is that you want to do wrong. You still want to keep doing what you're doing. But you're going to have to come on. And you have to come on this side of the fence and stay on this side of the fence. You're going to have to stay on this side. Because God wants the best out of you, because He has the best for you. This is your girl Pam Kendrick with encouraging words.